one particular sector, or you should not have 100% exposure to small and micro cap. You should have a balance, but within that you should be very, very mindful of picking the right stocks. Now, what I've observed, and this is more of a behavioral finance issue, where we normally ask ourselves every day in the morning, we say, "Arey, आज क्या खरीदेगा है?" I think that's a wrong question to start with early in the morning, or either you do it every day, or if you do every week, or every month, or every week. What you should be asking yourself, instead of what should I buy, you should be asking what should I buy or sell today. Because normally हमारे दिमाग में जहन में यही है कि हम बेचे क्या नहीं, तो बेचना है क्या नहीं चले. Normally we want to keep adding stocks in our portfolio. Somehow we have in habits, we don't want to clean our portfolio. We normally say, आज क्या खरीदे यार, मार्केट आज तेजी में है, क्या खरीदे. We never think अगर आज मार्केट तेजी में है तो भाई क्या बेचे या क्या खरीदे. So right question you should be asking yourself, what should I buy or sell? But the better question is this: how can I trim my portfolio? And the day you start asking this question, as in when you look at your portfolio, I'm telling you, your portfolio will start doing extremely well. I hope I'm very clear. Never ever ask a question, what should I buy? Instead of that, ask a question yourself, what should I buy or sell? But the better question than that is that, how can I streamline my portfolio? And the day you start asking a question, subconsciously you are creating a winning portfolio for yourself. So please start from today, ask a question, how can I streamline my portfolio? And the day you start asking these questions time and again, then it will become a habit in your mind. And once it becomes a habit in your mind, I'm telling you with confidence that you will have a winning portfolio for yourself. And what I mean by winning portfolio, the portfolio that beat the benchmark, that the portfolio that outperforms the 95% of the portfolios floating around in the country. And that's what you should be aiming for. So let me put a simple test to understand where do you stand. So what I'm going to do is that, and then Jason will also put a poll on that. There are 8 questions that I'm asking you, okay? And then you should say whether this question is yes or no, okay? So the first question is that, while buying new stock, I don't look at the construct of the existing portfolio. जब आप कोई नया स्टॉक खरीदते हो तो आप ये दिमाग में नहीं होता है कि मेरे पास existing मेरे पोर्टफोलियो क्या क्या स्टॉक है. If the answer is yes or no, say yes. Jason, you can start putting this one. The answer is yes. 1, 2, more than 2, more than 3, more than 4, more than 5, more than 6, more than 7, and 8. That's a question you can put. So while I'm buying a new stock, I don't look at the construct of the portfolio. If the answer is yes, yes. I have more than 50 companies in the portfolio. That happens normally because we always keep asking ourselves, आज क्या खरीदूं? We never bother to see how can I streamline my portfolio. So if we have more than 50 companies, put answer yes. The third question is the number of companies in my portfolio in last 12 months have increased. So we are in May 2021, sorry. So, and you compare yourself in May 2020, has number of companies in your portfolio gone up or gone down? I am not asking the value of the portfolio. I am asking you number of companies in the portfolio. So, अगर May 2020 में आपके पास 20 कंपनी थी और अभी 25 कंपनी है तो आंसर इज यस. 20 कंपनी थी और अभी 15 कंपनी है तो आंसर इज नो. सो थर्ड क्वेश्चन इज दिस. Fourth question is, I usually quick in booking profits and miss multi-years rally. So normally what happens, we are very happy with 10%, 15% profit in the company, and we are very quick in terms of booking profit. And because of that, we miss out on multi-years rally in the stock market. If that applies to you, say answer is yes. I often fail to book profits at the higher levels. Now the question number 4 is that you are too quick in terms of booking profit. The difference between question number 4 and 5, the question number 5 talks about I am never able to book profits at the higher level. So what happens? You see the script going up and then going down, and hence you never make a profit. Maybe like Manpasand Beverages, PC Jewelers, DHFL, Yes Bank. If this applies to you, please put answer 5 as a yes. I'm usually not fast enough to realize my mistake and book losses. So suppose you continue to hold the stocks which are in losses, and many times I've seen people doing averaging also. If that applies to you, say yes to the question number 6. I often make wrong stock selection while churning the portfolio. So what do I mean by that? Sometimes we sell blue chip companies to get into momentum stocks. For just to give an example, you get out of HDFC Bank to invest in Yes Bank. Why? Because HDFC Bank will not double, but Yes Bank may double. Or you get out of Titan to invest in PC Jewelers. Or you did made a mistake by getting out of Hindustan Unilever to get into Manpasand beverages. Or you made a mistake of getting out of HDFC to get into DHFL. Maybe same sector, same sector. If you've done that, say answer yes. My portfolio consists of more losers than the winners. What I mean by that? अगर आज आपके पास 25 कंपनी है तो 25 कंपनी में से कितनी कंपनी प्रॉफिट में चल रही है और कितनी कंपनी लॉसेस में चल रही है. अगर ज्यादा कंपनी लॉसेस में चल रही है तो योर आंसर शुड बी यस. एंड लेट्स सी हाउ मेनी पीपल हैव आंसर यस. और ये बेझिझक आप जवाब दीजिए. दिस आंसर इज एनोनिमस. आपका कोई नाम भी नहीं दिखने वाला है. डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट. So we are still more than 200 people have already responded. More than 300 people. Wow, very good. Okay, very close to 400 as we go. Okay, it's very a divided house in the sense that 3, 4 and 5 has the highest number as we speak. We are touching close to 500. Let's see what happens. So till now, the more than 4 is 23. Okay. So I think more than 4 is 23, more than 3 is 21, more than 5 is 19. So basically, if I look at it, more than 4 is more near about 60%. And that's a kind of a, what we call, this is, now those who are having 5 and above, I think you should listen to my conversation very, very in a very serious manner, because I think if you follow what I'm saying, I think it's going to create a completely change your returns on the portfolio. So please listen to me very carefully. Those who have only one, okay, or that, I think congratulations to them because they did a brilliant job. Those who have more than one also is a congratulations. Those who have less than 3, I think they've done a wonderful job, and heads off to them. I think you are doing a wonderful job. Please continue doing the similar kind of job. Now let me come to the this one. So what is weak portfolio? Now the question that may come to your mind, what is a weak portfolio? So when we go for a health checkup, doctor do suggest either you suffer from high sugar, high cholesterol, high BP, excess fat, isn't it? Now something similar also applies to our portfolio. And how do we differentiate what is weak portfolio? So I have put it and simplified for you. Remember, the way we go to a doctor and a hospital to do a stress test on our health, how many times have you done a stress test on your portfolio? Once, twice, or never? Most probably never, because we never thought we need to do a stress test on our portfolio. So here goes the stress test for your portfolio. I have too much exposure into a single stock. In other words, and what do I mean by too much exposure? When I hold more than 20-25% portfolio, which is in a one single stock, that is higher exposure. I know many investors जिसका एक स्टॉक में करीबन 50% पोर्टफोलियो का वैल्यू एक ही स्टॉक में रहता है, and that is called high sugar problem. It's a diabetic problem because you are basically taking too much risk because of that, and because of that, when the sugar goes down, you will suffer a lot because of that. I have too much exposure to single sector, which is I call high cholesterol problem. So I know many investors today want to invest in metal stocks. Why? Because metal stock में चलने लगे हैं. So people normally end up putting 80%, 90% kind of an exposure to single sector, which I call high cholesterol, and that's going to make your portfolio extremely weak. Because something goes to go wrong with that sector, your portfolio value will collapse like anything. Okay, something we saw with infrastructure in 2007, 2008. Something we saw similarly for the real estate sector, which happened. So if in that case, if that is there, I think you have a too much problem of high cholesterol, and you should reduce that cholesterol in your problem. Then we have too much exposure to mid and small cap. Like last 6 साल में mid and small cap have started doing extremely well, and which I call is high BP. Why? Because mid and small cap by nature keep fluctuating very much high as compared to large cap. And when the mid and small cap का ऊपर नीचे होता है, वैसे अपना BP भी ऊपर नीचे होता है, and then it becomes a high BP problem. So when you have too much exposure to mid and small cap, I call it as a high BP problem. Or we have excess fat in our body. The same way we have excess fat in our portfolio, where we hold too many stocks. You know, one of the questions that I ask, I have more than 50 stocks in my portfolio. Some of the best fund manager is not able to manage even 30 stocks portfolio. And here you as a retail investors have more than 50 stocks portfolio. Then what happens? You are not able to do justice to your stocks that you are holding, because you don't know what's happening with that company. Since you don't know what's happening with that company, invariably either you are too late in terms of booking profit, or you are too early in terms of booking profits. And because of that, that company that you hold in the portfolio eventually will remain in the portfolio for over a longer period of time. And by virtue of that, you become a very, very long-term investors in that company. Why? Because you don't know what to do with that company, because you are not able to keep a track of that. So excess fat is that. Now another problem that I always observed, and that's a very good big sign of a big portfolio, is that you continue to hold loss-making companies. I know many investors hold. Can we do one more thing, Jason? One more point, just if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I hold Suzlon or Yes Bank or both in my portfolio. So that's a question. Either I hold Suzlon or Yes Bank in my portfolio, and yes or no answer, simple. And there are many investors like you know, who have basically continued to hold loss-making proposal despite knowing very clearly, if this company rally is over, you should get out of this company. But no, we don't have a guts to admit that we will be able to admit our mistake, and we want to continue to hold. Sometimes I saw investors doing averaging of that company, thinking that, you know, one day I will be able to get out of this company at a profit, and that's, I call it a very weak sign of this one. Oh, very high percentage of people have a Suzlon or Yes Bank in their portfolio, and I'm so sure that would be continue to be in a loss-making proposition. And this Suzlon, I'm so sure many must have acquired somewhere in 2007, 2008. Really, that time this was supposed to be this was a blue chip company, no doubt about it, because it was a part of Nifty 50. And then people continued to hold that company. Okay, so I think it's almost more than 600 people already responded, and 38% of the people hold Suzlon and Yes Bank, while 62 people don't own. Very congratulations to the people, those who don't own, but I'm very afraid the 38%, which is 1/3 of this audience, have Yes Bank and Suzlon. And my request to you people, those who are holding, reassess the company that you hold. And if you think you need to get out of this, please get out of it. Create liquidity by selling that company, and you will be much more better off. And once you get out of this company, if you invest that profit in some other company, probability is very, very high that you will basically what we call either you'll be able to recoup losses, or you'll be able to reduce your losses from Suzlon or Yes Bank. So that's what my advice to you. So now we're moving on. So how to decide to exit from the stock? And now that's a very critical question that people do suffer. In fact, I keep telling investors that in Hindustan mein investors hai Abhimanyu, Arjun nahi hai. And what do I mean by that? In Mahabharata there was a character called Abhimanyu. He knew how to enter Chakravyu. उसको entry मालूम था, उसको exit नहीं मालूम था. And what happened in the, as per the story in Mahabharata, that Abhimanyu got killed because of he did not know how to exit from Chakravyu. Most of the retail investors are like an Abhimanyu, while Arjun on the other end was, he knew how to enter the Chakravyu, he knew how to exit from the Chakravyu. And if you want to be a Arjun of the stock market, you must know when to exit from the stock. And if you can do that, I'm telling you with confidence that you will start making super duper money from the equity market. So how to decide exit from the stock? There are few pointers I'm suggesting you. Please follow these pointers in a very disciplined manner, and you can see what changes this makes to your equity returns from the your return from the equity market. The moment there is a serious corporate governance issue with that company, you should make an exit from that company, whether you are making money or not making money. If I were to give an example of that, Manpasand beverages, the moment there was a red flag on the company, that this company books is little cooked up, you should have get out of that company immediately, whether irrespective of fact whether you make money or not. Okay, so first trigger for you to get out of a company was serious corporate governance issue. The moment there is a some kind of smell on the company, get out of that. When financial of the company turn weak, I'll give a very classical example, is Maruti Suzuki. Couple of years back, Maruti Suzuki financials turned weak, and we advised investors to get out of that company 10,000 rupees. And a lot of people wrote back to us that people have gone crazy. Why we have gone crazy? Because they said if standard of living of India is to do well, more people will buy car, and Maruti being the largest player in the car industry will get the benefit, and that is so. Why are you suggesting us to get out of this company? But we suggested because the financial of the company is turned weak, and even as on today, after a couple of years, Maruti Suzuki is not touched 10,000 rupees price, even though the overall market has gone up substantially high. And hence, my advice to you, when the financials of the company turn weak, get out of that company. Management give you any commentary, okay, this is transitory in nature, we will overcome this challenge, we will come out of that company. Please don't listen to that. Get out of that company immediately. Third thing, when you have made decent gains in the company, so sometimes we see that company has given you 200% return, 300% return in a 1 year or 2 years. If you have made gains, please start booking profits. If not 100%, at least you should book partial profits. And don't listen to any experts, including Sunil Damania. Okay, because ultimately what matters is a book profit, then the book profit. Okay, so whenever you have made decent gains in the company, please do not hesitate to book profit. If not 100%, partial profit, because what would happen, your average cost of buying will come down substantially. And person like me, who's basically more conservative in the market, my always objective is to take my principal out from the company. So suppose if some company has given me 300% return in 2 years, my first objective would be to take out my cost. Whatever I've invested in the company, I'll take out that company. That means the balance holding becomes free of cost for me. So tomorrow if the company is to become a zero also, it's not going to matter to me. So this is what you should be doing. That's a very practical advice I'm giving you. Remember, that's another thing which you people need to remember, that you cannot sell at the top and you cannot buy at the bottom. The reason I'm telling you, because we don't want to have a guts to book profits. Why? अरे कल उठ के वो भाव ऊपर चला गया तो अरे बाबा तुम भगवान थोड़ी हो कि तुम ऊपर के भाव में बेचोगे. So remember, yes, script may go up after you sell. Don't hesitate here. You made your money, let someone else make money on the same company. What difference does it? Ultimately, you invest in another company which is also going up. So remember, you cannot sell always at the top price. And hence, even if the script goes up after you book your profit, don't worry about it. The moment you remove that block in your mind, if भाव ऊपर जाएगा चलेगा, then you'll be able to bite the bullet and you'll be able to sell. Till that mind that bothering you, that question is bothering you, if this what happens if the script goes up, तब आप कभी भी book profit नहीं कर पाओगे. Then what would happen? You will see company like GVK going up and going down because you never had a guts to book profit. Why? अगर भाव ऊपर चला गया तो JMR similar thing, Suzlon similar thing, Yes Bank similar thing, DHFL similar thing, Manpasand similar thing, Wakrangi. PC Jewelers, I can give you no one going on and on. So never ever remove that notion in your mind that you'll be able to sell at the top of the price, which will never happen. And hence, remember whenever you're making a decent gain, book profits without bothering what happens if the script goes up. So another thing you should do, this is a very nice way which will keep your portfolio very, very healthy. Keep existing sector and the stock allocation whenever there is a rally in the sector or a stock. Just to give you an example, suppose you decide कि बस मेरा 30% exposure metal company में होना चाहिए. Okay, the moment it keep breaching the 30%, you should keep booking profits from metal companies. So you are not making 100% exit, okay, from the metal sector. But what you are doing, you are keep booking profits from that sector. In other words, you are in the sector at the same time you are also making money, and yet that way you are balancing your portfolio in a very nice manner. But why all this is possible only when you be disciplined in investment. If you don't have a discipline in investment, I am afraid you will never able to execute what I am suggesting you. And last but not the least, when you realize that this company is not going to perform, please accept that mistake and move on. If you don't accept that mistake, you will never be able to. See, accepting a mistake is the biggest mental block that we all face from. It hurts our ego, knowingly or unknowingly. How can I be wrong? अरे भाई तुम भगवान थोड़ी हो, गलती हमारे भी होते, सबके होते. Warren Buffett makes mistake. Rakesh Junjunwala makes mistake. Ramdev Agarwal makes mistake. Everyone makes mistakes, including me. And if that is so, accept mistakes and move on in life. Yeah, you should not be so much this one. The moment you move on from that thing, you will realize that yes, I made a right decision. So now you say, how do I basically convert my weak portfolio into strong portfolio? Because I don't have discipline. I don't know when to exit from the stock. I don't know what is happening with that company. And that's where Markets Mojo has a tool, beautiful tool called Portfolio Optimizer. What does this Portfolio Optimizer does actually? It helps you to identify the weak companies in your portfolio. And what it does, it will help you to remove those weak companies and move into a good quality company. What it will do, it will ensure that balancing which I was talking about, it will ensure that you don't take too much exposure in a particular sector or in a one particular company or one particular market cap. For some reason, if you are having too much exposure to small and mid cap because mid and small cap are in demand today, it will tell you, it will still keep helping you to do auto rebalancing. And if you do that, you can see wonders happening to your portfolio. Our tool Portfolio Optimizer will help you to make your weak portfolio very, very strong portfolio. So what do we do basically? So how does Portfolio Optimizer works? So first thing it divides, so I have divided this journey into 3 parts. In part 1, we will do a return analysis on your portfolio, existing portfolio. Okay, we will tell you by which company, first what is the overall portfolio return you are making, whether your portfolio is in profit or loss. It's more of a diagnostic kind of a stuff, Then it will tell you what is the kind of risk you have taken to generate return. Sometimes what I've observed normally, that people take higher risk, but the return is not commensurating with the kind of risk you have taken. Logically, when you take higher risk, your return should be higher. But invariably, it's exactly inverse to that. Very rarely I have seen people taking lower risk but generating higher return. And our Portfolio Optimizer will make you understand what is the kind of risk you have taken to generate returns till now. And it will open up your eyes that either you are taking too much risk or you are not taking a risk at all. And if you are not taking a risk at all and still you are not, there is a 2 possibility if you are not taking a risk. Either you are making money or you are not making money. And if you are not making money, problem could be that you are not taking a risk at all in your portfolio. But that will you will realize the moment you look at our Portfolio Optimizer. It will also help you which market cap is helping you to make money. So sometimes I've seen, some people are very good in terms of making money in a mid and small cap. Some investors are very good in terms of making money from a blue chip company. Our Portfolio Optimizer will tell you, based on your investment style, where you are making more money. And once you realize that yes, I'm making more money in mid cap, whether I'm making money more in large cap, and if you know that, you play to your strength. So market Portfolio Optimizer will help you to understand which market cap is helping you to make more money. At the same time, our portfolio optimizer help you to understand which sector is adding value to your portfolio and which sector is basically pulling your portfolio down into a losses. And last but not the least, it will tell you how many stocks in your portfolio are making money and how many stocks in your portfolio are losing money. I know one of the 8 questions that I asked you, how many stocks in your portfolio are profit or loss? Meaning more often than not, people don't realize also कि कितना स्टॉक पोर्टफोलियो प्रॉफिट में है, कितना अपने पोर्टफोलियो में स्टॉक लॉस में है, बिकॉज वो पता नहीं चलता. दिस पोर्टफोलियो आंसर हेल्प यू टू अंडरस्टैंड what it does basically. Then it goes to the level 2 kind of an intelligence, and it says, do you own too many stocks or you own too few stocks? Because it's very critical for you to understand. अगर आप कम नंबर ऑफ स्टॉक्स है, आपके पास एक बहुत ज्यादा नंबर ऑफ स्टॉक्स है, अगर वो है, then it will also make you understand कि how many stocks in your portfolio are tail stocks. Tail stocks का मतलब क्या हुआ? अगर वो स्क्रिप्ट चलती भी आगे जाके, if it's going to get double also, it's not going to move a needle of your portfolio. Why? Because अगर आपके पास 10 लाख का portfolio and one stock that you are holding is only holding worth 1,000 rupees, वो 1,000 वाला कंपनी 2,000 रुपया भी हो गया, डबल भी हो गया एक साल में, is it going to make a material difference to overall portfolio, 10 lakh के portfolio? The answer is no. And hence, should you continue to hold that company and waste your time and energy keeping tracking of that? The answer is no. So what would happen? We will make you realize that. We will also make you realize कि आपका सिंगल स्टॉक में कितना एलोकेशन है, सेक्टर में कितना एलोकेशन है, लिक्विडिटी है क्या नहीं प्रॉब्लम उस कंपनी दैट यू आर होल्डिंग. वो समटाइम्स I realized that the overall volume that company is only 500 number of shares credited, but you own 10,000 shares in that company. Do you realize how many days it will take for you to get out of that company? Will make you realize that, and that's why this liquidity in the portfolio will also come into picture to make you aware whether you are holding illiquid portfolio or you are holding stocks in a liquid portfolio. And in case if you are holding a stocks which is illiquid, we will also tell you how many days it will take for you to liquidate that particular company, and that says self-awareness will come in your mind. Part 3, then basically we look at we use 4 parameters: quality, valuation, recent quarterly financial performance of the company, technical, and we also look at beta of the stocks that you have, beta of your portfolio, whether you are taking too much risk or not too much risk of a portfolio, how volatile is your portfolio. Now, this is another unique feature that we have. And basically, every investor is unique according to us, okay? And hence, we cannot advise you the same advice to everyone. So what we have done, basically, we have created 5 buckets, okay, as per each one risk appetite. Some would be very aggressive, some could be aggressive, some could be moderate, some could be conservative, some could be very conservative. And we suggest, based on your investment pattern historically, our data will analyze, our analysis will tell you if you fit into moderate risk profile. You may like that risk profile, you may not like that risk profile. You can change, we allow you to change that. Okay? They will suggest you based on any of this fine. And once you accept, yes, my risk profile is fine. Remember, our advice on portfolio optimization will change as per your risk profile. Okay, and hence it's very critical that you identify your risk profile at this stage very clearly. If you don't agree with our assessment of risk profile, you can definitely change. And once you change, now we will suggest you what is you need to do, and that's where our action plan comes into play. Now we will tell you based on your risk profile how many stocks you should hold, how many tail stocks that you hold, whether you should increase allocation to that tail stock because the company अच्छी है, so you should, instead of selling, you should increase the allocation in that company, isn't it? Or you should remove that company. We will also tell you how much you should readjust your sector allocations. We will also tell you how much you should readjust your market cap allocation. Clear cut terms. अगर आपका 50 है तो हम लोग बोलेंगे 50% सेक्टर एलोकेशन को रिड्यूस कीजिए, 25 पे लेके आइए. और 25 पे कैसे लेके आना, दैट आल्सो विल टेल यू. We will not leave anything to the imagination of yours. We will tell you very concrete action plan. हम आपको एक स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक एडवाइस देंगे कि भाई जो अभी आपका पोर्टफोलियो है, दैट स्टॉक्स दैट यू आर होल्डिंग इन योर पोर्टफोलियो, हाउ मेनी स्टॉक्स यू शुड कंटिन्यू टू होल्ड. कितनी कंपनी में आपका एक्सपोजर अच्छा है, ज्यादा है, और वो कंपनी अच्छी है, instead of selling out 100%, you should reduce your holding in that company. They will tell you how much you should hold. And there is another bucket where we will tell you 100% exit. So there are 3 buckets based on your existing portfolio. Okay, which company you should continue to hold, because the company that you hold is a good company, you should continue to hold. There are certain companies which are good, but your exposure is beyond advisable limit. We'll ask you to reduce exposure in that company. And third bucket, where it's an out and out exit. These companies are not at all good for your portfolio. We'll advise you to get exit 100% from that. Of course, if you don't like our suggestions, you can still edit. Now, many times when I talk to the investors, sir, I'm holding this company because my father has given me this company and I don't want to sell that company because I have a sentimental value to it. Of course, we allow you to edit that thing. So for some reason you don't want to exit from that company, we have an option in portfolio optimizer where you can remove from one bucket to you take it to the another bucket. That also will tell you. So that's possible. It's completely a democratic setup that we have where you can pick and choose. If you don't like our advice, we allow you to edit our suggestions. Once you accept our suggestion, we'll tell you which are the stocks. We'll give you the basket of stocks that you can pick up in each market cap category. So, and we'll give you options there also. Because sometimes you have certain likings, you have certain disliking for certain companies. I know many people who don't like to invest in a liquor company or they don't like to invest in cigarette company for some reason, or some company don't like to invest in a hotel company. We give you that options. Okay, Papa, you can pick and choose which company you like. If you have certain reservations against certain promoters and you don't want to invest, that is also possible. So we give you that options. Okay, you can pick and choose in each market cap category. And once you pick and choose, okay, based on your comfort level within each market cap category, we will tell you based on that what you selected, how your portfolio will look like. If you accept our suggestion, how the portfolio will look like in number of stocks, in terms of market cap, in terms of sector exposure. And once you say, okay, that portfolio optimizer will make a deal sheet. You copy either in Excel sheet or in a PDF format, send it across to your broker. Your broker will execute that trade. And once that broker will execute that trade, you can update your portfolio. The complete exercise of a portfolio optimization takes less than 5 minutes. If you wish to make your portfolio optimizer strong, today is a Sunday, I ideally request you, please spend 5 minutes of yours. First, you find out where do you stand in your portfolio. And once you realize that your portfolio is weak, follow our advice. And tomorrow, first thing in the morning, ask your broker to execute the deal sheet. And once you do that, you will say, yes, today, Sunday, I've done a very nice thing. I've invested 1 hour, invested 5 minutes on a portfolio optimizer. And today I am in a part to make my portfolio strong. And if you can do that, your family will definitely be very grateful to you, because ultimately whatever wealth that you are creating your wealth for not only for yourself, for your near and dear. They will be very, very grateful to what decision you are taking today. So my advice to you, please take 5 minutes of yours and start using our portfolio optimizer. Just a brief introduction about what Markets Mojo is all about, and then we'll open the floor for question and answer. Markets Mojo does analyze any company on a 550 parameters. We look at 30 million data points, that is 3 crore data points on a daily basis, and our success ratio is 80%. What do I mean by 80%? Whenever we recommend buy, the script goes up. Whenever we recommend sell, the script goes down. And that happens 80% of the time. Today, because of our higher success ratio, because of higher integrity, most India's leading stockbrokers also use our research to power their investors, like HDFC Securities, Motilal Oswal, Angel Broking, Axis, Aditya Birla Capital, Swastika. But not only brokers, India's 2 leading stock exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange, they also use our research to empower investors, because they believe that our research is so good that can help investors to take a very meaningful call on the company that they are holding. So how does this BSE show on their website? This is just a sample. I have taken a Yes Bank, which declared result for March 2021. This is the kind of the analysis that is available on a BSE India. I have taken this widget. If you go to Yes Bank, and if you scroll down below the price, this kind of widget is available, and this is powered by Markets Mojo. You can see our logo there also, Markets Mojo, there on the BSE India website. And this is the kind of research that BSE India used to empower retail investors. The reason why we are the biggest, largest financial advisor in the country. We control near about 30% market share among the retail investors. And the reason why people love us is that very simple. Your interest and our interest 100% aligned. Why it is aligned? Because we will not recommend buy and sell, because we have a reason to make commission based on your buying and selling, because we don't earn any income when you buy and sell. In other words, we will recommend you buy and sell only when it's in your interest. And when you are happy, we are happy. And in other words, your interest and our interest 100% aligned. So if we are happy, we are happy. And that's the motto Markets Mojo believe in. We will always ensure that you make money, and if you make money, you will come back to us again and again. And if you come back to again and again, then only we will survive. And that we understand very clearly. And hence, we don't want an investor who just come once. We want investors to come again and again. And that can only happen when we keep your interest in mind. And if we don't keep your interest in mind, that will never happen, what we intend to do. Markets Mojo has been started by the founders of moneycontrol.com. We are 6 years old fintech firm. We are also registered with SEBI as an investment advisor. In our system, we always advise top quality company, and that's the biggest USP of Markets Mojo. We don't believe in momentum stock. We don't believe in human bias. We don't believe in. And the biggest USP of Markets Mojo is that we analyze 4,000 listed companies. Any research advisor or financial advisor will have a view on 250 companies or 300 companies at the max. We advise 4,000 companies. Okay. So to conclude, and then we'll open the floor for question and answer. Please take portfolio approach. You should have a strong reasoning when you add company in your portfolio, or you have a strong reasoning to get out of that company. Think when you add any company. Think when you exit from the company. Keep doing stress test on your portfolio every month, minimum every month. During result time, you should do very often, because the new results comes in, and then you should do it. And whenever when you feel that you should get out of that company, please do that. Keep asking a question: how do I streamline my portfolio every time? Don't ask what should I buy today. Ask question: what should I buy or sell today? Or the best question is that how do I basically streamline my portfolio? And last but not least, bring discipline in your equity investing. The moment you bring discipline in your investment, I'm telling you, you will see wonders happening to your portfolio. And don't take my words. You ask some of the people who are using Markets Mojo platform, and ask them what kind of, due to discipline, what kind of return they could create in the equity market because of Markets Mojo. Just to give a last slide, and then this is, so had you created model portfolio on our website? We have another feature on our website called model portfolio. Had you created model portfolio on 1st April 2020 and continued to follow our advice in disciplined manner, on 31st March, your portfolio would have gone up by 107% as compared to 71% of Nifty 50. We have outperformed many of the leading PMS in the country, and the reason is very simple: because we don't have any human bias. We follow in a disciplined manner. While many AMCs have struggled to beat the benchmark, Markets Mojo model portfolio not able to outperform the benchmark, but created huge wealth for the investors. And the reason is very simple: because of our strong research, which I talked about, 4,000 companies, removing human bias, investing always in the top quality company, has been able to help us to create this kind of a wealth. So today, since you're attending this webinar, you have taken a time out on a Sunday like Sunday. There's a special webinar offer for you. Our 2 years webinar, 2 years Mojo professional features are going only at 14,999. That is 15,000 rupees. You pay us 15,000 today. Start using all the features of Mojo Professional for 2 years without any interruption. Now our MRP is 48,000, but today, since you're attending this webinar, you can avail this offer only at 14,999. This offer is not available anywhere else on our website. Hence, you may wonder, how do I avail this offer then? Jason has put a link on the chat box, and if you use that link, then only you will be able to avail this special offer at 14,999. Since this offer is only for very limited period, my request to you, please avail this offer immediately. And only that link will help you to avail this offer at 14,999. So over to you, Jason.
Yeah.
My apologies, sorry, I've just exceeded my time limit, but we'll make up by extending the question and answer session.
Sure. So the first question received: when to stop averaging out a stock when it is falling down?
When
to stop averaging a stock when it is falling down?
First thing, you should not do averaging only. So there is no question when to stop averaging. In fact, averaging is a very poor concept. So normally, when would you do averaging? So you ask yourself, I don't know who the gentleman who asked the question, but just remember, ask a very simple question. Whenever you did averaging, and take a history, because you would have a history of your averaging. I'm telling you, I don't know who you are. I don't know. I don't have access to your portfolio, but I'm telling you with confidence, if you have done 10 companies in averaging, 8 would have incurred loss for you. Okay, I'm telling you with confidence. Only 2 would have made money for you. In other words, averaging is a poor concept. My request to you, everyone, not only the person who asked the question, everyone, just go back and see whenever you did averaging, whether it was a fruitful or is a futile exercise. Because you need to remember, you have a 2 choice. Either you put money in the same company or you put money into some other company. And then ask a question, had you put in the other company, had that company given me more returns or not? By averaging I don't know why people do averaging. Can you tell me one successful investors, okay, worldwide who has done averaging? None. Not a single successful investors in the world have done averaging. In fact, there are many successful investors who did averaging on the upside, not on the downside. Okay. So yes, there are many investors successful investors averaging the buy side. What does it mean is that suppose we bought 10,000 shares of HDFC Bank. Oh, sorry, 10,000 too big number. Maybe you bought 100 shares of HDFC Bank. The scrip and you bought at X rupees. The scrip goes up by X plus 10%. Instead of, someone would buy more 50 shares of that company. When the scrip further go up by X plus 20%, he will buy another 50 stocks. That way. So maybe you should do averaging on the upside than the downside.
Okay, another question. Is it advisable for a first timer, a new person, to start investing in these tough times of COVID-19? If yes, what is a minimal starting amount you suggest with?
So my request to you, any time is a good time. The reason is very simple. If you believe in the power of compounding, if you believe in the India growth story, please invest in equity now. In fact, today I have tweeted that inflation is going to come back very strongly, not only in India, globally. Because in the last 30 years, the inflation is completely wiped out from the global economy. Why? Because of outsourcing, because of globalization. Now, countries are becoming more and more what we call introvert in their process. They want to do benefit a lot of things on their own. And because of that, the inflation is going to come back very strongly. And if you wish to beat inflation, equity is the best way you can beat the inflation, because the fixed income instruments is not able to give you higher returns than the inflation. In other words, the money that you invest in a fixed income instrument will be less than the what we call the inflation that would be there. Now you ask me question is how much? Whatever your capacity, you should never ever bring money which is emergency money to the equity market. You bring in that money which you don't need for minimum next 3 to 5 years. Only invest that much money into the equity market. Now that money could be 1 lakh, it could be 50,000, it could be 10,000, whatever your money that you have, based on your capacity, and keep building on that. Timing the market is a futile exercise. Time in the market is a very good exercise. Number 1. Number 2, what stock you hold in the portfolio matters the most. Not the because in fact it's not there in the part of my this presentation, but more and more this market is becoming more and more stock specific, and the few stocks are driving the market not only in India but globally also. Okay, so this one study which I did, which where I've taken the market cap of India in March 2018 and March 2021, the difference, the 20 companies, top 20 companies accounted for 80% gain in the India's in market cap. इंडिया हिंदुस्तान का जो मार्केट कैप बढ़ा है ना लास्ट 3 साल में, उसमें 20 कंपनी का 80% योगदान है उसमें. खाली 20 कंपनी का बैलेंस 4000 कंपनी का 3980 कंपनी जो बाकी बची हुई है ना, उसने सिर्फ 20% ही कंट्रीब्यूट किया है उस मार्केट कैप को इंक्रीज करने के लिए, डिस्पाइट सो मेनी कंपनीज गॉट लिस्टेड in last 3 years. In other words, or if you are picking up a right company, that's where markets mojo expertise comes in. If you pick in right company and if you remain invested and you follow in a disciplined manner, you will make money in the equity market. Jason, आप सब उसका नाम भी दे सकते हो, that will be great.
Okay, so I'll start noting. Another question by Vijay. Sometimes we notice that stocks with higher score fall and with lower score do not fall much. Is there any relation between the scores?
Just can you repeat if you don't mind, Karan? Jason?
Yeah. Sometimes we notice that stocks with higher score fall and stocks with lower score do not fall much in Mojo list. Is there any relation?
See, because as I told you, we have 80% success ratio. Okay. Now, see, remember, stock by stock, basically it's very difficult to say it was probability is very high that higher score companies should do well and lower score companies should not do well. But that does not mean that will happen every time. Number one. Number two, sometimes even the higher score company, no company will give you linear returns. In other words, sometimes, like just to give an example, like for example, the company like in stock of the EID Perry that we had, it did not move for, after we recovered, it did not move for some time. But the day it started moving up, it moved up by 30% in 1 month. So, it's all depending on which day you are looking at that company. कौन से दिन आप देख रहे हो उस company को. So I think it's also a question of that. Okay, we need to understand. So my request to you, very simple. Yes, some companies, but if you follow the disciplined manner, probability is very high that higher score company will give you more returns as compared to the lower score company. So that's how it will look up. Number two, no company will give you linear returns. So sometimes the higher score company will wait for some time before it starts going up because we don't control the market. And hence, sometimes this company may underperform for some period of time. But the moment it starts outperforming, it will outperform so much higher that it will basically outperform the benchmark. It will outperform the overall market also.
Okay. A question.
सवाल हो ना Jason, तो मैं request you take that question in Hindi also because I know some people want me to speak in Hindi, but what was happening that I was not getting a flow. मेरे को हिंदी में और इंग्लिश दोनों में कंबाइन करने का थोड़ा फ्लो नहीं मिला था. That's why I had to go back to my English.
Yeah. A question by Rajesh Gupta. What to do with our money after we book profit from our stock?
Rajesh, that's a very good question. Okay. So many times I've observed, Rajesh, that क्या होता है हिंदुस्तान में people make a mistake. They get out of a blue chip company, and I keep saying time and again, okay, Indian investors got a very bad habit of सोना बेच के कॉपर खरीदने का. They will get out of a blue chip company to invest in a what we call momentum stocks. They will get out of a Hindustan Unilever to invest in 1% beverages. They will get out of Titan to invest in PC Jewelers. That's when markets mojo comes very, very handy. So that is what we do. We not only tell you when to invest, we also tell you how much to invest, which company to invest. We tell you when to exit, and once we tell you exit, also we'll tell you which company that you need to invest next. So, the model portfolio return I showed you here, 107% in model portfolio will tell you exactly that. So whenever we advise exit from a one particular company, the next day we'll tell you which company you should be buying. And we also tell you how much quantity also. So that you don't have to go anywhere else. And we offer you 360-degree solution, Rajesh, for your equity portfolio.
Okay. Another question by Rahul. Is India debt to GDP ratio is increasing at 90%? Yeah.
Raghav, you are right. India's debt to GDP ratio is significantly higher. And one of the reasons is very simple that government of India had to spend a lot of money to fight the crisis that we are all facing because of COVID. Number one. Number two, revenue took a huge beating for government of India because of the lockdown that was announced in FY21. And now as we speak, there is again a lockdown-like scenario in various states, even though it's not a central government, it's a state level, this one. And because of that, debt to GDP ratio has gone up to 90%. Now it's a cause of concern, no doubt about it, Raghav. But there are many countries who have more than 100% debt to GDP and still they did not face any problem. See, one good thing about India, which is that whatever debt that we have today is all internal debt, and hence the risk is low. In the sense, we don't have any. Second thing, we should not look debt to GDP in isolation. We also have a strong forex reserves. Okay, in other words, India's ability to repay any foreign debt is extremely high. It's not like a situation in 1991 where we did not have even enough money to import for 15 days and we had to basically mortgage our precious gold to borrow. So yes, debt to GDP's ratio is definitely high, 90%, but it is not that high to me is a cause of concern. So I'm not a little worried about that.
Okay. Another question by Mr. Shiva. How can we trust the management of a company? For example, UPL saw auditor resignations and no clear answer by the promoters. Now the stock is at peak. Another example is GMM Pfaudler, which is undergoing investigation with respect to SLB prior to OFS. There can never be 100% transparency from promoters.
So I think Siva, you raise a very pertinent question. What you should do, if you ask me very frankly, get out of that company. Whether the company upar gaya, niche gaya, it doesn't matter. Because no company will, it's not necessary that when you buy, this company next day onwards will start moving up. Eventually the company where there is a will start underperforming. Whether they start underperforming in 1 day, 2 days, or 1 month, or 3 months, or 6 months. There are empirical evidence available in not only in India, globally. Whether you look at some of the developed market at US, UK, France, Germany, Japan, it's all available. It's all floating around. So remember the example you gave. The moment you see today, you have 4,000 listed companies. The moment you feel that this company has done a corporate governance like kafla kiya hai, avoid that company. You will still have 3,999 companies. If you have one more company got added, 3,999 companies. But the moment you avoid this company, whether that company goes up or goes down, should not matter to you. What should matter to you that yes, you have taken a right call when you avoided a company where there is a serious lack of corporate governance. The moment that come to your knowledge, you should avoid that company. Now we have a habit. हम लोग ये सोचते हैं भाई UPL ऊपर चला गया. Am I right? But UPL is the only company that moved up? And imagine had you got out of UPL and you invested in Tata Steel. Has that not gone up? But our mind is somewhere different, Are UPL ऊपर चला गया despite this one. A lot of other companies also moved up at the same time. So why do we think you had an opportunity? No one basically put a gun on your head and say you need to invest only in UPL despite corporate governance issue. No, you don't invest in UPL, invest in other better quality company that is called Tata Steel. That choice is available to you, but you don't want to exercise that choice. So moment you realize there is a company which is not a good quality company, avoid that company. Period.
Okay. Another question by an anonymous user. Investing in good score companies just days before the quarterly results, would it be a good strategy?
Absolutely no. Absolutely no. For the very simple reason, I'll tell you why. In Markets Mojo, we use 4 parameters where suppose the company's valuation is good, quarterly result is good, technical indicators also suggesting bullish. But if the quality is poor, we will never ever recommend that company. Why? See, remember, quality is of a paramount importance. Because you are putting your hard-earned money in equity market, and when you put your hard-earned money, never ever compromise on the quality of the company that you invest in. Like Shiva asked a question about the corporate governance, that's the kind of threshold you should keep in your mind. Okay, come what may, I will never ever compromise on the quality of the company that I invest. In other words, when markets going to select a company, that company has to be of quality, has to be a good. If other 3 parameters are good, but quality is poor, we will never ever recommend that company. So, Markets Mojo, how does the Markets Mojo derive the score on the company? We look at the quality, recent quality, value, technical factors. We don't look at one factor to decide whether you should invest in the company. The moment you decide based on one factor, probability goes up very high that your portfolio will underperform. See, some stock may do well. I'm not saying no. But overall, as a strategy, you will underperform the broader market. And if you do that, how does it matter? Then what is the fun when you underperform the market?
Okay, another question by an anonymous user. Should we enter a stock with strong momentum? while there are stocks that melt down soon after going up, but some stocks continue to go up. How do we decide whether to enter such stocks or stay away?
Simple formula. See, that's why the reason why markets mojo came into existence, because we faced this similar kind of questions from a lot of investors. We did a lot of research to find out what are the challenges investors face. And based on this, Markets Mojo came up with a beautiful platform to help retail investors. And this is exactly what we try to address. So when any stock is doing well, we will tell you whether you should continue to buy this company or you should exit. And that's what exactly Markets Mojo as a platform help you to do that. Because in some cases, you as an individual investor may be successful, but in some cases you would be unsuccessful. But overall, your journey by taking that call on based on momentum will go haywire. So number one, we don't believe in momentum stocks. As I was explaining you, we always look at quality as the first filter. If the quality of the company is not good, we will never ever try to recommend a stock to someone to buy, because that sometimes the strategy may play out well in the short run, but over a longer period of time, you would realize that the strategy that you are adopting of investing only in momentum stock will backfire significantly and it will erode your capital in a significant manner. Those we have done, I'm talking about a scenario where, Chagan Magan kind of a scenario where a lot of companies used to go up based on no business, nothing, what we call plan, no corporate governance, no auditor, good auditor, company books were cooked, and but stocks were doing well. You started investing because the tips were floating around the market, and you know what happened to those stocks. You basically burn your fingers very significantly, and once you burn your fingers very significantly, it takes a lot of efforts to recover those losses and then start making money. So my advice to you, number one, avoid momentum stocks. Number two, follow Markets Mojo platform in a very disciplined manner.
Okay. Another question by Mr. Lokande. What is the minimum holding period of the stock you are considering while recommendation?
Mr. Lokande, in our system, since we don't have any human bias, we don't have any fixed target price, we don't have any holding period. Why? Because as and when the new data points come in, our score will undergo change. So suppose tomorrow some company comes out with the poor financial numbers, we will not be hesitant to get out of that company without any hesitation. We don't know what numbers will come out, am I right? So after one quarter, one company comes out with poor financial numbers, we don't know, and hence we don't have any fixed holding period. Or tomorrow, the technical factors undergo change. Then also we'll ask you to get out of the company, or values of the company or the quality of the company deteriorates. We don't know what happened. So in our system, Mr. Lokande, we don't have any fixed holding period, nor we have a target price. As and when the new data comes in, and that new data suggests that we need to exit from that company, we'll advise exit from that company without any hesitation. And that's where no human emotions comes in.
Okay, since we're running short of time, I'll be taking a couple of more questions.
Yeah.
A question by Mr. Rajiv. Do we need to follow book your profits policy if we buy a good stock, or should we wait for a longer period?
So Rajiv, tell me, what do you mean by long period? And tell me, give me, I'm asking a question to every one of you. So me, out of 100 companies, how many companies create if you invest in the 100 companies, how many companies create wealth for the investors for the long term? Okay, in fact, in India, there is a complete big scam that is floating around saying that, invest for the long term. For every one company that creates a long-term wealth, there are 99 companies that destruct the wealth for the investors in a long term. And this is, I can prove with a data point. But unfortunately, in this country, there is a scam going on, because they will give you one example of an Escorts or an Eicher Motors. Okay, had you invested in Eicher Motors 10 years back, 15 years back? But Baba, at the same time, there are 99 more companies that destructed wealth, isn't it? Why are you talking only one company? Why are you going by exception and not by this one? So, if you tell me that long-term investing is creating a wealth for the investors, show me with the live example as a portfolio. One or two companies may do well. Warren Buffett, Rajiv, you will be surprised to know that Warren Buffett average holding period is only 1 year. I repeat, Warren Buffett 1 year average holding period is only 1 year. And this is not I am saying. There is one research done by 3 professors in US, and they, based on the study, investment pattern of Warren Buffett, made with the state, came out with the study, and they've published that study. If you want, Rajiv, write back to us, and we'll be more than happy to share that study. Okay, you can write back to us at webinar@marketsmoney.com. Rajiv will share that study. Number one. Number two, which institutional investors, which mutual fund manager is holding more than 1 year average holding period? You'll be surprised to know that Indian mutual fund industry average holding portfolio, average holding period is less than 1 year. Are you aware about that? And hence, there is nothing called long term. As long as the parameters are strong, that company is doing well, remain invested in that company. The moment parameter deteriorates, without any human bias, get out of that company, irrespective of fact whether what is the purchase price. Okay, so never ever make purchase price as your anchor price to decide whether you should get out of that company or you should not get out of that company. Rajiv, I know many investors remain invested in Maruti, long-term investment. You know what is the Maruti last 10 years returns? Let me take you to the website of this one just to drive home the point. Jason, I'm taking this.
Sure.
Right, yeah. Maruti Suzuki last 10 years return, and I'm giving you as of yesterday last 10 years return. Okay, I'm not picking and choosing the returns of as per my choice. Last 10 years return is 450%, but last 5 years return is only 75%. Is underperformed 91%. So had you invested 5 years back and you continue to believe that Maruti would create a wealth for you, you have underperformed significantly. ITC is another classical example. Hero MotoCorp, which was a part of a wealth creation study of Ramdev Agarwal, did not create any wealth for retail investors in the last 10 years. Not for retail anyone. So, you know, and these are all blue chip companies I'm talking. I'm not talking about a company which are this one. Look at last 10 years. Last 10 years, Hero MotoCorp has just gone up by 56% versus benchmark, which is Sensex, which has gone up by 163%. Had you put this money in a bank FD, you would have made more money by other than investing of Hero MotoCorp. ITC in last 5 years, had it created wealth? No, that is not a single rupee they have created. Let me see ITC also. And I can go on. Even HDFC Bank, in last 2 years, HDFC Bank has underperformed the benchmark. Are you aware about this? Still, last 5 years, in fact, ITC has gone down, in last 5 years, ITC is down by 0.4%, okay, as against Sensex, which is almost double. So, in nutshell, there is nothing called buy and hold strategy, my dear friend. In fact, it's a big scam that is running in this country, where some people will tell you to buy and hold strategy creates wealth for you. Yes, it does create. I'm not saying no, but this is an exception. There are more exceptions than the rule. It doesn't work in the real life.
Okay. So begin the final question for today by Sarthak. You have previously written about ITC's underperformance. With FMCG now starting to do well, have you changed your opinion?
So I'm very happy, Sarthak, that those who are not aware, somewhere in 2012, I wrote a piece that ITC will underperform. Okay, and that time people called me mad. They told me I don't understand what equity analysis is all about, because that time ITC was one of the best performing company at that point of time in 2012. And I said very clearly, okay, that ITC did create wealth in last 1 decade. Going forward, ITC will not create the same kind of wealth, and hence start searching for a new company that will create a wealth. And my prediction has completely come true. Okay, those who want my research at that point of time, I can happy to share that research also. Now, FMCG as a segment, if you recollect, Sarthak has not done well in last 1 year or so. So what has happened in market, this risk-on strategy has come back very significantly. And because of risk-on strategy, people don't want to invest in company like the sector like FMCG. See, but now your question is about FMCG as well as ITC. So let me address both those questions simultaneously. See, in FMCG as a segment may not, they will start doing it only when the market may risk of strategy comes in. What do I mean by risk of strategy? When people are not willing to take risk in the market, and then they will search for a sector which are little safe in that sense. Till such time that does not happen, I think that FMCG as a sector will continue to underperform. But within that, there will be some companies that will do well. So I'm saying, so remember, sector may perform or may not underperform, but there are certain companies will outperform or underperform. Remember that fact. Remember that we should always be very clear cut about that. Now coming back to the ITC, I think ITC at that point of time also I suggested that they should demerge their existing various businesses. If they do that, I think there will be a value unlocking that can take place. Till such time they don't do that, Sarthak ITC will continue to underperform. So my advice to in 2012 also was the same, that you should what we call unlock the value by demerging various business. They have paper business, they have hotel business, they have FMCG business, they have cigarette business. They should demerge, and once they do that, I think the complete wealth creation journey will restart. Till such time they don't do it, I believe, this is my personal opinion, not Marcus Mojo opinion. I afraid that ITC will continue to underperform. So I hope I'm able to answer that question. So I'm so sure, Jason, that there are many more questions. My apology that we are running short on time, but please do write back to us at webinar@marcusmojo.com, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question in next 24 to 48 hours. It's my promise to you. A gentle reminder to everyone that today we are running a very special offer of 2 years Mojo Professional feature of 14,999. You pay 14,999 and next 2 years you use all the powerful feature of Mojo Professionals. Since this, you may wonder, how do I avail this offer? Jason has put in a chat box this link for this special offer. You click on that link, which will help you to avail this special offer. I'm afraid this offer is only for limited period, and hence request to avail this offer immediately. So thanks a lot, Jason, taking a time out on Sunday to host this webinar. Thanks a lot, everyone, to attend this webinar. And my request to all of you is that please take care of your